Threat detected.
Ancient sands, heed my command.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
And reclaim these relics of hatred.
Morphin' time! Same thing that happens to everything else.
If the apocalypse comes, beat me. Beat me. Beat me. Beat me. Beat me.
Welcome to Real Hot Nerd Shit, a pop culture podcast where real hot nerds talk about real nerd shit. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm your co-host, Shauna.
And on this episode of Real Hot Nerd Shit, we are talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps movie that just came out in theaters.
And to do that, we have two special hot nerd guests for today. Welcome, Uxie and Ryan. This one, though, is snacks for the differentiation purposes of, hey, Ryan, can you answer my question?
Right. Hi, friends.
Hola.
Oh.
So we
Hey.
do all realize that I wanted this because we are four, and it's Fantastic Four, and there's four of us. Did that?
You know, I
click through?
didn't.
Not that we saw it together?
Well, sure, but there are other people who saw it that we could have asked. Ungrateful much? Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back. Yes, Shauna, please. What were you going to say?
Oh gosh, no, I was okay. So I'm trying to think which of us is which of the Fantastic Four. That's
Okay,
my.
yeah. That's
I knew I was gonna do
the first. That's the first question when we jump into the actual movie itself. But before we do that, let's catch up on the other shit that has been happening. No one has seen Superman, so I'll just say it was great. But we have all fallen prey to K-pop demon hunters, and credit
haven't
where
seen it
credit is due. Shauna!
I know. I haven't. I'm like, I'll say here. I'm like, I've yet to. We keep meaning to, but we just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
Well, Uxie was the front runner. Like, credit where credit is due. Uxie was telling us for a couple of weeks to watch it, and then I finally saw it, and all caps to the group, like, everyone has to watch this. And then Ryan watched it, but apparently Shauna did not. So
Yet.
Uxmal, your thoughts about K-pop Demon Hunter?
Okay, I just need the record to show that when I suggest something, please just jump on it because it was the way it's been living rent free in my head, and it's been like maybe the day I watched it the week it came out because I was just like on my anime kick, and I have watched it at least 4 times afterwards, like getting other people to watch it because the music itself is so good, the story is incredible, and it's just from start to finish, your eyes are locked, like you are locked in, and it's just. It was so good. It's so good. So please just jump on my suggestions. Thank you for coming to my channel.
I'm very ready to. Like, I'm like, and it's like everywhere in like my feed, and I'm just like, I know I'm like, it is there for me, and I'm going to like thoroughly enjoy it. I just haven't had a chance to yet.
And just to clarify, when we say it's everywhere, like it's everywhere in our feeds as homosexuals who love.
I don't know.
Oh,
Golden is number 2 on the Hot 100 right now.
and I did see.
It is everywhere.
There it is.
And all at once.
That feels racially.
Wait, Michelle yells in this also. She's the voice.
Is she really?
I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. Hold on. I haven't. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. I could be thinking of another anime thing that just came out with her.
And you can't say "don't quote me" because it's literally being recorded. Someone's gonna quote you and be like, "White passing Mexican guesses the wrong Asian woman."
Wow.
No, I'm thinking of what's it called? It starts with an N. Nez Hot 2. It literally just came out. Nezha. There's a first one and a second one. This one has also been on my feed, I think, just because I've watched a lot of.
Oh, that's that Chinese anime movie. That's Hot 2.
It's not anime. It's like, what's that kind of animation called? Where
I said animated. I didn't say anime.
Claymation.
Yes.
like the with like the
That style.
raisins that
Mhm.
I think it's
same.
like huge in China, right?
I think so. I mean, they made a
I
second one,
think
so it
it's
has
the
to be.
raisins.
It looks cute.
So I do have a follow-up question. Um, and I don't know if any of us can answer this. Is it only anime if it's from Japan?
No,
Otherwise, it's just sparkling animation.
Shut
no, it's
up.
it's the art style. So I would like people consider Avatar: Last Airbender anime, even though it was made in
Right.
America.
See,
So
but I
like
don't. I think that is a really interesting. Like, 'cause I don't. I am not sure that I think of Avatar: The Last Airbender as being anime, even though obviously there's a lot of similar
influence.
themes and animation styles in it.
Hmm.
Like I feel like there are uh specific things that need to be included for something for me to think of something as anime. And so I think about like um uh oh no, this is going to sound so ignorant, but when they do like those huge eyes or they do like the sweat that appears at the corner of someone's head when they're nervous, like I only
Hmm.
have so much experience, but those like sort of textbook anime facial expressions that they do,
Big
uh,
drama.
but yeah, and like I'm sure there's a name for it, like that specific style. That's what I equate anime to. But like, is is like Castlevania, for example, which is clearly inspired by anime style, but is that anime?
I would consider Castlevania anime.
Yeah.
Netflix also considers anime, but I don't think it was made in
I think
Japan.
Castlevania is more of an anime than Avatar: The Last Airbender,
But
at
why
least
is
in terms
Avatar:
of
Last
art.
Airbender like less anime than Castlevania?
I don't know, just vibe, art style. Like I just there's some like, and again, I'm far from the expert, and so I'm like not going
Yeah,
to be
none of us
like
really
as
watch a lot of anime, so
yeah. It is not my area of expertise, and I'm okay with that. However, like I don't know. I feel like maybe again and again maybe the modern cultural definition has also changed from where it
Sure.
was 5 or 10 years ago. Was also
or 20 years ago
Um,
when the Airbender came out.
Oopsie,
like that's not or Neon Genesis Evangelion that I watched in grade school. Ugh.
mine was Sailor Moon. You are an anime person though, for real, right, Oopsie?
I mean, I dabble. So, from my understanding, from like what the West considers typically anime, it's like anything that originates from Japan, or it's like Shauna said, it's like the style of the animation. It may not be necessarily the same vibes, but it's the animation artwork and all that, and the fluid and the way that it all fluidly moves. But
Mm.
in Japan, and I learned this from my little sister, so shout out to my 11-year-old little sister, Angelica, who is way more of an anime person than I am. But
Or
in
Diva.
Japan, they consider like anything anime. Like
Huh.
any animation of any kind to them is considered anime for some reason.
So
So I think there's like a
Shrek would be animated then.
no animation from like that style, like anything that's cartoon to
Yeah,
like not
like
that style
Not
of
CGI.
yeah
Also not CGI.
yeah yeah
So
yeah, yeah.
drawn animation. So Lion King is animated then.
Correct. May not be to us, but it's just a style of animation. Someone else can completely correct me off, but that's just
Yeah,
what she's told me. I'm literally getting this off of an 11-year-old who
if you
watches like
know,
stuff
yeah.
like Dan or Dan to Dan, Inuyasha, Demon Slayer. Like she watches those kind of things where I'm like just barely dipping my toe in.
sure. So, as non-anime people, Ryan, what you didn't? I thought that you would be more moved by it because I
Right.
was like the music was beautiful, like the story was incredible, and anytime there's anything about like people that love each other supporting one another, I'm immediately like chosen family shit. I lose it. I can't handle it. So like
Right.
I assumed that you would be more moved than you were.
I feel that. I liked the movie. The music was great. I still listen to the songs. Um, I thought the story was good too. I didn't really get. I guess I kind of got a little close to tears near the end when they all
The
met
honeymoon.
like on I'm sorry, I don't want to like ruin everything for Shauna, so I'm not going to say it. Just like at the end, like a sappy thing happens between the three girls,
Yes.
and
And girl power, sisterhood, please.
right. But I guess I don't know that doesn't hit me as hard as
If there was an
usually
animal
hurt.
involved.
Not even just animal involved. I don't know. I was trying to think of an example of an animated movie that like made me cry that was different, but some of them are similar. You know, I cried at the end of I weep at the end of Coco when Coco's with with his grandmother, which is another like bonding moment.
Sure.
But that still involved death, I guess. So
Yeah, so your empathy is more along the lines of sadness than the like, oh my God, these other people are that happy.
yeah, but then at the same time, when I saw Up, I didn't cry at the beginning. I cried when what the old guy gave the badge at the end to the Boy
Yeah,
Scout. That's when I
yeah,
cried,
yeah.
which has
Interesting.
nothing to do with death. So,
And you usually cry at times, so
right,
and the beginning of Up will fuck you up.
right.
Like
I've never cried to it.
oh my God.
I don't
It's
know.
Shauna, have
And
you seen
It's
as
a
someone who
mystery.
cries just so many things,
I cry
like
so many things. I will cry watching people like win Olympic gold. It's like they've reached their dreams, bawling.
that that's not even like a good example of the obscurity of things that will make you cry or like
Oh, sure.
I'm trying
a
I
beautiful tennis match. Like,
right.
Oh no, I cried. Like I cried when Coco Gauff won the French Open or the U.S. Open. I didn't cry when she won the French Open.
I need you to journal for a week at the
oh
things
well.
that make you cry so we can come back to this and pick out trends.
I'll only journal if I cry.
Okay, great. Great.
I only
Okay.
journal when it cries.
I don't know that one lands with Ryan. I don't know that garbage really made his way into the house. That is a grungy 90s girl rock song by
Oh, that was
Garbage.
an actual song?
I'm only happy.
Wow.
I thought you just made that up.
It was to the tune of the song I'm Only Happy When It Rains.
And when you said garbage, I was like, that's kind of rude. I was like, garbage a band?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fronted by a woman named Shirley Manson.
hmm
Oh, I've heard of, wait, is she related? She thought was related to Shirley Manson.
Wait, is that a stage name?
I have no idea.
Is Shirley Manson her real name? Yeah,
Garbage band.
that is her
Oh,
real.
Speaking of which, Coldplay, the concert.
Oh, please.
I've heard of
What a
them.
time. What a time to be on the internet. It was so
I
nice
heard the
for all
visuals were great.
I really love anytime the internet comes together about something that's not like arguing. Like,
we can just bond.
yeah, at
Especially when
Cherry.
it's like the demise of a rich white man. Please.
Yeah.
Listen, CEOs are going down.
Yeah.
Every summer, like 3 of them have to get
every which
sacrificed
way
at
possible.
least.
Okay, another one just died though. That woman that's the CEO of one of the BlackRock subsidiaries. She was killed in a fucking office shooting, and they're just like not reporting it. And when they are
Is this
reporting
in New
it,
York?
yeah,
Yeah, there were like 4 people died.
yeah, someone
Yeah.
said like a high-powered woman at BlackRock or whatever. Like she's the CEO, but they're just not. I don't think they want people to know that
There was
the revolution is coming.
there was a woman that was like in her 20s that also got killed. She was a Cornell
Yeah, I
grad.
mean it's all sad. It's all sad.
Well, and whenever you see these high power executives, I only have one thoughts and prayers. Like, what else
Thoughts
can
and
we
prayers.
do?
Right. It's really all we can do.
Truly.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. So I don't know if you all saw. I didn't actually watch the trailer, so I'm kind of annoyed that I included it in there, but didn't watch it. But Percy Jackson season 2. Did we all watch Percy Jackson together?
I watched it solo. I know
Okay,
that much.
I
Yeah, I was gonna
watched
say I watched
I think
it
I
on
watched
my
the first
own.
episode of season
maybe
2.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, I really liked
Yeah,
it.
it surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I just thought it was gonna be a one and done thing with Disney, and it wasn't gonna pick up anything. But I was actually like pretty excited for a season 2 if they did it, and I'm so glad that they jumped right into it.
Same. Yeah, I think what I'm
Especially
thinking.
with
Please go ahead.
Hades. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
with like loving like having enjoyed playing Hades so much, I think like getting really like I always loved Greek mythology.
Love Greek.
Like
That's my favorite
and so
like
I
animation genre.
that's so
Yeah.
good.
You all would love Hades. I know Sean will get mad if I convince y'all to buy Hades before that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, but
Look, it's if you enjoy this kind of game, it's then a game we could play together. And I've
I'm in.
noticed a desire for a non-competitive because we play a lot of Marvel Rivals and Fortnite together. So it's a lot of like us against everybody else, and it can be like a lot because some
Yeah,
nights the algorithm,
it can be a lot. Strong
yeah,
eyes at Ryan.
like the algorithm is a lot. We don't always have the best matchmaking experience, and so
I'm specifically referencing yesterday when the Chicago my new friends in Chicago, we did some custom matches and they were beating our asses.
Mhm.
Just the first couple games where it was like the Cleveland folks versus the Chicago folks before we mixed it. We got
It was rough.
trounced.
well, you also didn't have me either because putting me on healer and that would have also
You
been
better
a
you better
deal.
say that shit with your chest, Shauna. She
Just
said
saying.
you also didn't have me, so you were down one goat. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also let me remind you, she replaced me, so I'm glad I was the problem.
Yeah, we definitely never mind, never mind.
Well, okay, so I popped off as Cloak and Dagger. Like
And
I had the most damage on our team and I out healed Snack's Rocket, which is
By a
always
lot,
the
like
height.
almost doubled my
Yeah,
healing, and I didn't die, so I was having a good game. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
12k healing. You have 20,000 heal. How did you do that?"
And then
And she had
it
more
like
damage than
I had
everyone else.
yeah,
Insane.
but it was great. They were like, "Oh
Insane.
my God." I was a terror.
I wish I
So
had been on
good.
your team and not suffering from your great game.
Oh yeah, I was like like
Yeah. So speaking of rivals, we have Blade coming on Friday.
oh
What date is
wow.
Blade?
Next Friday, not tomorrow.
Okay,
Oh, right.
okay.
It's the second Friday because that's your special day.
That's literally how I remember it.
Yeah.
That's how it's amazing.
Yeah. Um excited. How do we
Nice.
feel? How do we feel about Blade?
I mean, he's
I'm
got a DPS character, so yay.
He seems like he's fast too, and I like that.
He's a brawler, so you don't have to aim, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy magic. Like
Not that I particularly like boy magic, but we'll take it. Until we get Wiccan and get gay boy magic. Um
mm,
oh my god,
I
imagine when they
will
put Wiccan in.
my boot will be on everyone's like neck. No one will play him. I will be so obsessive about it.
We
like
thought the
we
same
remember
thing.
that first month
I don't
of
think it's
Marvel
coming anytime
Rivals with you
soon.
and Scarlet Witch.
It'll be
Yeah.
a
Like
repeat with Scarlet. Yeah.
Uh, so speaking of Blade, here's a wild pivot. Does anyone remember Natasha Lyonne in Blade Trinity? I don't really remember Blade Trinity. We watched it at the beginning of the pandemic, because I don't think I had ever seen that one. But I don't remember a lick of it except for like Ryan Reynolds and fucking what's her name from Seventh Heaven. Who the fuck does Natasha Lyonne play?
She's
and
like
Parker Posey.
she's
And
like oh, yes. She's like she's not the tech person. She's like a specialist on the team that like provides them with like the specialized weapons that they use to kill the vampires for like Jessica Biel's but like she's like one of like their 'cause she's blind too, so that's why I was like, oh, that'd be funny if they have
Oh
her play
yeah.
another blind person, if they had her play Alicia in the Fantastic Four. um I can't remember if she's like
Well,
because
she's
I
not blind.
remember what.
she's not blind in
She
the
wasn't
Fantastic Four.
blind.
No, she's not, but
She should have been
Kerry
because she
Washington's
was.
character,
Yeah.
Alicia Masters.
Masters.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was blind, and there's like that infamous meme that's going around right now. So when they said that Natasha Lyonne was going to be there was like a big, funny speculation that she was going to be another blind person if they made it Alicia, but they obviously just gave her a different character. Um, but I remember her character in Blade. I remember her in like a clinical setting in one of the scenes, and then I also remember her like showcasing something on like a computer. And I always thought like, how is she like this is so like this is such a great character for them to just flip pivot. And her blind acting was something else. It was
Was
something
it?
else. It
I kind
was
of want to watch it now.
it's one of like it's not as it's corny. I mean, it's for sure corny, but it's top tier corny. I freaking love the Blade Trinity. The third one was my fave.
Well, Ryan Reynolds helps, to be honest.
Oh, mine was Jessica Biel. I was like, yes, you bad bitch. You better work with that freaking laser thing on the end of her crossbow. I was obsessed with her.
I know I watched it. I have no recollection, unfortunately.
Never seen it.
Oh,
I liked
okay. So
it.
add it to the list of movies that we should somehow figure out a way to talk about. But we are here to talk about Fantastic Four. Yes, Shauna, were you going to say something?
My cousin had the blade sword. He had like a real sword of it.
Oh yeah, didn't you have sharp? Didn't he collect knives or
Oh yeah,
swords?
he had a bunch. He had like Lord of the Rings swords, and he had like the blade sword. He had a bunch of different nerd things, like the memorabilia.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that existed.
Um. Okay, so we are here to talk about Fantastic Four. So first question: who is who in our group as the Fantastic Four?
Okay, so I've already thought about this
Great.
because I was assuming that we were going to do this. So Ryan is Sue
Oh,
because your mother.
okay.
Um, Shauna would be Johnny because you're the biggest flirt. Uxie would be Mr. Fantastic because you're can be anal about things. And then I'm the thing. It was more by default, but
I was
I don't
gonna
know.
say, as opposed to you, who's notably not anal about anything.
He gives Virgo energy, I think. So
Yeah, you definitely Ben Grimm is like a big softy, but he's, big and scary, and I don't think you're big and scary, but you do have
Hmm.
very um serious energy at times. It's very Virgo energy, but he's like such a big softy.
See, and that's where I think you two are the ones that I think I would switch because I think that you're more. I think Uxie's more of the like lighthearted, like kind of way in terms of like. And again, have we seen those thighs? You have strength by far is like
Yeah,
your like.
yeah, yeah. If anything, I mean, I would say
no,
Shauna
but I'm
is Sue, Uxie is Johnny, maybe
Hmm.
Ryan is Reed because you are
See,
arguably the
I'm
most
also
science smart out
the
of us.
least flexible by far.
Okay, we're not talking about just based on power sets.
But that's a big thing, isn't it? We
But
have
yeah,
to
mm,
he's
imagine
yeah, but
ourselves
you
with
are
those powers.
also you
he's
are
also a
intellect to Ryan's
yeah.
wisdom as I am dexterity and Uxie's strength.
He's also the all of the four the least I played in
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals. I
Okay,
played Mr.
wait though.
Fantastic maybe twice.
Shauna, that's one thing that I was thinking about. Add it to the list of the four humors and how it
Hmm.
shows up in media. But
Absolutely.
okay, so say that again: dexterity, wisdom, strength.
Yeah, and intelligence.
Okay, so
And
who's who in
That's a lot
the
of
four?
stats to be good at.
Well,
well,
that's why
that's
it's
the Fantastic Four. They each of them have a dominant stat.
Oh, I thought you said Mr. Fantastic had all those.
Yeah, Mr.
so
Fantastic's intellect, Sue is wisdom, and the Thing is strength, and the Human Torch is dexterity.
I think the Human Torch would be charm or charisma.
Well, yeah,
it does
also.
work in this one, yeah. So
Okay.
okay,
Johnny's a
then
bard.
so Shauna, what's your assessment?
I think that it's. See, and again, I think it's either. I'm either Sue or Johnny, depending on which way like you go with that. And
Mhm.
then likewise, because like you're like See, but that's where I think Uxie is Johnny because you are sneaky book smart in a way that like again, like when you're like, oh, you're actually like you're incredibly intelligent, but like you would not necessarily present yourself that way, even though it's absolutely true.
I'm a
And
himbo.
so, right, just as Johnny is. And so I think that's where I see that kind of similarity versus which one of us is going to make the most calculated decision and do it because that's what the logic dictates. It's snacks.
Oh, yeah, that is true. But
Also,
the
And
thing does
then
that. The thing is
but the
logical.
thing then is the emotional heart of the team and the one who,
yeah,
drive, yeah.
I actually think all things taken into account, Shauna Sue, Uxie Johnny, Ryan the Thing, me, Mr. Fantastic, from
Mm.
like uh the hey everybody listen to this plan I have. Like I know I don't necessarily like to do that, but I am the one that usually
Mm.
says, "Hey, can we make a plan?"
It's true.
So, I think it works for everyone. Uxie, did you have one?
I mean, I kind of agree with everything except for yours. I had you as like Franklin because you're a baby right now, but that was
Oh
by
yeah,
accident.
God. Thank you so fucking much for saying that. I am Franklin.
Bernice.
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 She's here. Bernice bobs her hair. Okay, so in general, first feelings of Fantastic Four, first steps. Uxie, what's your? Well, actually, before we get into that, um, what's your connection to Fantastic Four? Like prior to seeing the movie, who did anyone read the comics, the old movies? Uxie, what was your exposure to Fantastic Four?
Probably like the movies with like Jessica Alba, Ian Groff, is that his name? Chris Evans
The
when he was
fold.
Johnny Storm. Yeah. Like that was my first introduction to them. And then for like later on came not the not the old school cartoons, although I do remember watching that as a kid when it was on the same channel that like Gargoyles was on.
Good stuff.
I think so, yeah. So I do remember them like on Saturday mornings being on that channel, or maybe it was like Fox. It was one of the two that I would cycle through. But I don't think I was an avid watcher. I did watch the ones later on, and then as an adult, I got into like the comic books, which I think I tried getting into the really first ones, but like the dialogue and the writing is just so bad. It's like of the times, so it's really hard to kind of get a connection to it. So then I just skipped that and went straight to like the Ultimates era, which is really good.
Well, because that was where I also kind of was. I read the Ultimate Fantastic Four was definitely
Mhm.
one of those first experiences for me, like in like high school, like early college age.
Mhm.
Because like I that was like having the Ultimate Universe where you could just kind of start up with things like and Ultimate X-Men was so good and like oh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So
It's
like that
still
was probably
ongoing.
it. Mm.
for folks who are maybe unaware, the Ultimates is a separate universe than the traditional main timeline of Marvel Comics. So there's like Ultimate X-Men. When we first meet, isn't Miles Morales the first Ultimate Spider-Man?
I think so.
But then
He's
they
not the
eventually
first Ultimate Spider-Man.
Or I think he becomes the main one.
he does,
Because I
but like
think
at a
Peter dies in that one,
yeah. So there's
which is how
like
he
it's
becomes a villain.
there's alternate timelines even within the comics, but they build this whole universe, and that one is referred to as the Ultimates universe. And so there's all these characters that are like a little bit different than the standard timeline. So like if you are playing Marvel Rivals right now, the most recent Storm skin that isn't the symbiote one is Ultimate Storm from the Ultimate Black Panther run that started, I think maybe last year or the year before or
Hmm.
something. And I have a couple of those issues, but Ryan, what was were you, I have a sinking feeling you're probably just the movies.
Yeah, it was just the movies. I watched the first two in theaters. Um, don't remember a lot from them because I was like 12 and 14, and I think I only watched each once. I did not watch the remake that Fox made.
It was bad.
Um,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it
So
either.
yeah,
I've
so
seen
this
it
was the first Fantastic Four thing I've seen since Silver Surfer back in whenever that came out.
early 2000s. It's very. I watched them both recently. I don't really remember why, but like honestly, maybe since I moved to Chicago, I think I watched them while I was like unpacking or something, and they're just very campy. I have like a special love for those movies because they were so early iteration of the modern superhero movie. Like
Yeah.
they took the first some of the first steps, pun intended, in the making superhero movies again, but I like that they were never super serious. Like X-Men with the black leather and Spider-Man with I mean Spider-Man was just a little darker in general, but like it didn't have the same lightness as Fantastic Four, which was just fun, bright colors. It was the most like fun superhero movie I think of that sort of iteration.
I'd
So
agree.
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
yeah, what were your first thoughts of First Steps? Uxie.
Well, I gave it like a 7 out of 10, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, it wasn't. I was very apprehensive about the cast, but I mean, Pedro Papi, I love you in anything and everything. But I was a little nervous about Pedro as Reed.
Uh,
Very, very much surprised, and I really enjoyed him as Reed Richards. I always thought Vanessa Kirby was going to be a great Sue the minute that they casted her, and then Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, great. Didn't know how I was going to go because the only thing I've ever really seen him in was, or my first exposure to him was in Stranger Things, and I loved his character in that, and I could kind of see it. And I just like Shauna said, like his himbo behavior and how he's like smart, but in the most unexpected way. Like it was such a great homage to Johnny because Johnny isn't just like some bimbo that like doesn't know shit about what and it's just like pew pew pew, flying around doing things. So each of them did their and then Eon, what's his name? Ebon, I can never say his
on
name.
yeah.
Ebon, yeah, he was great as a thing. Like his inflection with the voice was good. He was the heart of like the team as far as like the softness and like the protector of it all. Like he was so good. Um, but I was bored.
Yeah. Okay.
I was a little
Shauna.
bored.
Oh, as I was saying your name, I'm assuming that fell out. Shauna, what do
It
you think?
did.
First thoughts of the movie.
So I enjoyed it. Like honestly, between the first one and like between my first watch with you all and then seeing it again with like my family, I was like I actually liked it more on the second time, kind of knowing like what some of the beats were and it kind of like I think that the middle did drag too much. Like I think the like space journey to kind of fight, but it's really just like expedition and to show like that they're astronauts, like
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Rye, what do
I
you think
enjoyed
first?
it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I would like Lucy says, I was pretty bored. Like I found myself like kind of like, am I tired? Like am I like dozing off a bit? Um, and I was like, maybe I'm just like tired, but then from like something earlier in the day. But I thought to myself like, I never doze off in a Marvel movie. Um,
Mm.
so like it's better than like some of the worst movies I see in Rivals. Like when they tried to be funny, they were funny. There were some. Did I say Rivals?
You did, yeah.
Some when some Marvel movies, like for like example, like Love and Thunder is like my least favorite Marvel movie because it was just all cringe humor and it was awful. It was so bad. So it's not that level. When it was funny, it was funny. When it was action, it was good action. But there just wasn't a lot of either of those.
Mm.
So I kind of just and also like some of like the decisions that uh like why the hell would you tell them that they want your baby and you said no?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
fuck?
how did their publicist not be like, "Do you have a prepared statement?" No.
They don't have one of
Why was
those.
why was Reed the one that is the least socially adept? Literally, Johnny would have said something better. Ben would have said something better. Sue would have said something better. You gave Mr. Spicy Brain the microphone after his child was threatened. Like, he's not okay. He's not the right one to make a a, a statement. But I will agree with everyone. I think I would see it again. I will kind of want to see it again to see if it does land differently. But more like fine-tastic 4. Like, it was fine. It was not. It wasn't. I've been sitting on that one for a while. It it didn't blow me away. I have some critiques. Like, I think some of this, for how much they talked about the practical effects, which were great. Some of the CGI was real tough. Like, specifically the scene where he's like negotiating with Shalabal, with Johnny and Shalabal. I was like,
Obama. That's what I heard at first.
when he was negotiating with Michelle Obama as the Silver Surfer. I Harold Berry. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on was the promo. I don't know. I mean, I think from the perspective of a person who is like interested in these things, um, the way that they positioned themselves just as people, as actors, felt like it was you felt like, oh, these, to me at least, and I'm hearing what you're saying, Uxie, but it felt very like once they were on the press tour, it was like they are locked into sending this message that they are this family of people, like in real life. Like, I'm thinking about the Rivals game that they did, where like what's his name, the guy that plays Johnny, Joseph Quinn, is like overly cocky, and Sue like knows deep cut information and is like comforting Pedro Pascal, and then Eban is just kind of like sitting back like, I don't know, guys, video games, I haven't played a video game since the Nintendo. So I'm curious how much of that is they were coached and how much of it is actually their natural dynamics.
I
I
think
feel
there
like
are
it's hard to
probably,
fake.
but it's also like they did that probably for 6 months for their job.
Yeah,
So to snap back into that mode probably wasn't a difficult thing for them to do.
sure.
And you can tell, I think, in the movie that the cast genuinely liked each other. And I
Yeah.
think that showed on the press tour, but I think it did show up on screen too. There was a real natural chemistry and care between all the characters in a
Right.
way that I thought was really great. Like,
Very much so. Yeah.
I like to believe that because again, this is like Kevin Feige's baby and also like intro into like the next saga of what we're gonna get with the mutants, which are his like first babies essentially. So like taking extra care to like reintroducing their first family into the MCU is a huge thing. So I don't think they would have taken casting lightly in this scenario. So it could very well be that those were all like their true personalities, and that is why they were picked as far as like
mm.
to bring forward this image of the first family of the MCU and like how they did cohesively work together. And because they worked together for they're filmed for so many months, it could also be the because you also have to remember like this is also all 4 of them. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not Pedro because he did Star Wars, but for the most part, Star Wars doesn't really have things like the MCU as far as like video games. So like the Rivals thing, like that really could have just been them, but they actually don't play video games, have never seen anything in sort of relation. Again, Pedro being the one with The Last of Us and Star Wars having maybe a little bit more experience, but the other 3, this is all new to them, like the whole superhero realm to them. So
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think Joseph Quinn is, in Stranger Things. I don't think the world of the Strange is new to them, or like, but I definitely see what you're saying. I think them having to, I feel like they took the subject matter seriously, and the fact that there are people that are like very invested in these characters, especially to your point around reintroducing them into the MCU. And like, you think about what's her name, Dakota Johnson, and how little she gave a fuck on those press tours, and like how little she gave a fuck about the source material, and it just showed, versus like Vanessa Kirby, who's talking about Malice, and like she knows things, like you can tell that they cared. And granted, I think Fantastic Four is also one of the most like, I don't know, like, I don't know the right word for it, but it feels the least um silly. That like it feels like these characters are easy to take seriously. Like, even though they are those kind of like archetypes, like, because it's such a small little group, it's not the Avengers where you have like all these different characters, or the X-Men where you have all these different characters. Like, people have been getting to know Sue, Johnny, Ben, and Reed as like a group of four people for 60 years, like 65 years almost. They came out in 1960. So like, I feel like these are also distinguished in the superhero realm. Like, it's akin to Superman. Like, you're just going to have people who are invested because they know the source material, and I feel like they gave it the appropriate like respect, which then came out in how they treated each other. Like, I need to see you as my brother, I need to see you as my husband. So full circle, I think it's maybe a combination of both. Like, hey, play that up, they're all smart actors, they're all smart people, and they probably know that that will help sales. I also am curious if the whole thing about Pedro and his anxiety is real. That people, like, I saw stuff on social media that was saying like he has really bad anxiety, and like physical touch can help calm him down. And
Yeah,
so
did he ever say that?
I think he has said it before, but like, I never saw the source. I always just saw people
Hmm.
pointing it out on the red carpet. That like, Vanessa's always touching him and like clearly caring for him and like soothing him. But there's the one clip of, I think it was like the world premiere, and they blew off a confetti cannon, and he like shrieked and like was visibly startled. Like, the other three were just kind of like, oh, well, that. Ooh, that startled me. Pedro's faggot ass was like, and Vanessa just like put her hand on him immediately to like calm him down. So like, again, I feel like that is being really attuned to someone, but also they're supposed to be husband and wife, and seeing them like that in real life is helpful to that.
I
Yeah.
feel
Uxie,
that.
you said you were a little nervous about Pedro as Reed.
Yeah, because like Reed, I mean, we've had three really. If you think about like the very first movie, the one that came out with like the one in, oh shit, what year was it?
1994.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so this is technically like the fourth introduction to him, and like all three of them are very different in their own aspect. But like I loved Eon's Richard and or Reed Richards, and like I always equated him to like the comic book whenever I read it, because like there's like a very distinct like infliction in the writing of the character, and so like I had never seen Pedro in that kind of like role before, and I was also just like nervous about, I don't know, like people like just all of a sudden jumping on like some hate train of like him being in everything, and like him being in something that's like so huge that's probably going to carry over for several years after this, because again, they're supposed to be the new main core thing that we're getting in the MCU.
Right.
It just made me nervous of like the fatigue of it all of Pedro, which I hope never happens. I don't think it will, but like
He's
if
in like
like
eight
it's a,
movies this year.
yeah, like there's so he's in so much, which also like how do you do it? My God, like I feel like he's on a press tour every month for something.
Because he's been working towards this goal until he didn't get his first break until what, his 40s. Like,
Yeah,
imagine landing your dream job and be like, give me them
yeah,
all.
and
Like, I
you
know I'm
take
tired,
not
but I
only
finally got
Marvel.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take Marvel, you take Star Wars,
Star
and then you take
Wars.
another video game franchise, and then from there, like you're set with just those three alone.
Uh,
But like,
He was
and
one of the
Game of
best
Thrones.
Yeah, he was one of the best characters in Game of Thrones.
oh shoot, I forgot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
And
mean,
and what a big surprise he
player.
played such a convincing bisexual. Like, yeah,
Ooh,
just saying.
and weren't they great? Oh, like,
Is that a Game of Thrones one?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
if you
because
ever
he
watch
was
Game of Thrones, you
from
should just watch it just for the fourth season. The fourth season it's spectacular. It's the best season of TV I've ever seen.
he's
Ooh,
juicy, very juicy.
yeah, Oberyn Martell, and like his introduction is him
Mhm.
being like, you know, sexual with men and women,
He is
like
the
in a
best
very
character Game of Thrones has ever
like
had.
with his what like with his like wife partner, like it's
work.
really yeah, no, it's a
He's
really
so hot in it.
interesting. He's so hot. Yeah, like that was where like his star, like for me,
That was his
really
breakout.
got on.
That's
Absolutely.
when I was first
Well,
introduced because I know he was on Buffy for like an
yeah,
episode
but
or
like he just had like an episode, like
Yeah, but
well,
he
and I
really
think
has
so.
the best.
Have you seen the memes though? Has that like come into your all feed? The
memes of
negative,
what?
like
Oh, like
about
the negative.
Pascal,
Yeah, yeah,
like I've
yeah.
seen negative Pedro Pascal anxiety memes. Oh
What?
yeah. Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
how
Like
he's like how he's
Marvel
too
Bible
touchy.
pages.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
there's like
like
a
how
hate
he's like getting
campaign.
touchy with like women versus
Yeah,
not
Mhm.
being touchy with men. Like it's a really, but it's a way of like really like where they're like mocking him for his anxiety as like just an excuse to touch women. Yeah, like
yeah,
It's from
And
the right.
also, I mean, it's not, he owes no one anything, but like, if he is queer, there's also a different implication in terms of how he touches women. Like, Vanessa is touching him. Like, in all of the, and that sounds very like predator apologist. Like, she was doing, but no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't appear as he is, in, uh, putting himself into other people's space. He has invited people into his space, and that is the relationship he has with Vanessa. But like I have seen some stuff about how people felt like it's inappropriate because like she's married, I think. But like,
what's between
y'all,
them?
and that's between, first of all, that's between them. Second of all, physical contact does not mean that those people are fucking. And third of all, mm, that's between them, like as people. So
And I
shut up,
compared to the
loser.
Coldplay thing, especially like where like they hid immediately because they knew they were doing something they shouldn't be, versus
Yes,
them doing it on a literal press tour with cameras and microphones constantly at them. So if there was something sinister afoot, they're not doing a very good job of hiding it. Like, come on, like it's
right.
a silly. Like, think about it logically, even like
Great point. Great
correct.
if
point.
it wasn't on the up and up.
A prescient example too, as a reminder.
Hmm,
Um, So let's talk just kind of the general plot points. I figured we could kind of talk through like the act. So the first act is the retrospective of who the Fantastic Four is. We see a little bit with the Mole Man and the announcement that Sue is pregnant. I feel like I didn't know that Franklin was going to be in this. They did a really good job of hiding that plot point. No, they didn't. Okay.
No, they led up to like during the promotional, like I think the week of, was it the week of? It was either the week of or the week before that. I think to give that final push of like
They
sales, I think, no pun intended with the final push of the
Uh,
baby. They showed the baby and that they showed that speech where he was like he asked for our child. Like it was like some TV
I
promo that came out that did come out showing the child saying that that's what
yeah.
Galactus wanted. So people, I think, to drive people out to the theaters to be like, wait, they have a baby? That's what they want? Because I mean, save the children and all, and that really pushes with
Fuck
like
them kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, I meant like as in that that wasn't spoiled for me until they announced it. Like I learned that it was going to be a plot point when they shared that it was going to be a plot point versus like all the background spoiler stuff that you typically hear. Um what did we think about the retrospective of them and having that be our introduction? Like we didn't get a backstory, we didn't get, we got a tiny little origin story as told by another person narrating. But what are our thoughts about introducing characters in that way?
I
I'm
liked
glad
it.
they
I think
didn't spend a lot of time on it because like they've done it so many times in the last 20 years. So like, why do it again?
Sure.
We all know it.
yeah. Right, and I think like exactly like we all know the story of the Fantastic Four. It's not like oh like what are people are gonna get lost. Like everyone's got like the idea. They went to space, they came back with powers. The and that's not the most interesting thing about them. Whereas
Yes,
like other characters do have a more interesting origin story, and so I think it was a good way of showing it in the narrative of the show while also not feeling like they needed to just do a flashback.
right.
Like
Yeah, I mean,
like
again,
but
it's
also wish there
their
was more action.
yeah. Again, it's their fourth introduction into film, and also the last time that they reintroduced a character that's been reintroduced over and over again was Spider-Man, and they did the same thing with him as far as like not going full in depth into like how he was bitten and all that stuff. It's like we know that, we know how he got here, and they just kind of pick up there and start running. So I think that formula worked then, and it's working now. It might be different for X-Men, but I mean, for this stage of it all, I think it worked well.
Yeah, it's they do the same thing with Superman. It's not an origin story. Like they pick up uh like 3 years into it's like they do this thing in the intro where it's like 3,000 years ago something about people, and then 300 years ago, and then 30 years ago we learned that metahumans exist. Like 3 years ago Superman debuted, and it's like Star Wars style. The intro, that is how they are opening the movie, and I'm like, that's it, that's all you. Superman, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, everybody knows those. Like, let me rephrase that. Most people, and I don't even think it's like fair to just say Americans because they are global properties. Like everyone kind of knows who Superman is. Everyone kind of, not everyone, but a lot
Oh,
of people know the Fantastic Four's story.
no, like my kid asked me, why does Batman become Batman the other day? And I thought it was like because he's a no. And so I was
Yeah,
like, oh well, actually, and like kind of explained it to him, and I was like, but yeah, like but
but
so
those
I
are
think
like
it's
at
interesting
some
to
point
like
it is introduced to the zeitgeist, and people are like they get more information. Like I think the majority of people know these properties or have at least seen, like so much so that like it's clobbering time is not said in the movie until way later, and they set it up as like a everyone knows this is coming, like what time is it, like i again, it's not everyone knowing it's coming, but like it is so part of the cultural dialogue. Like it's clobbering time is just known, I guess, maybe amongst nerds, but that's
well,
just
and I love Johnny like teasing him about it with like always trying to say it, and like it really kind of showed their like annoying kid brother like way that they have with each other, and I thought really worked well.
yeah. So in the second act, we have the arrival of Silver Surfer. She gives that just absolutely cunty speech of "I herald Galactus," and immediately Johnny is entranced. They say Michelle Obama says that the world is ending, and so they gear up in a spacesuit and go to space to confront Galactus. And Galactus says he will. Uh, what is the word I'm looking for? Not save, sacrifice, not
Spare.
spare. Thank you. Spare the Earth in exchange for Sue's baby. So let's talk the space flight. Cool.
I don't
All
remember it.
right.
I mean, it was cool for that time. See, I think they did a really good job because, like, again, it was set in a different time. Like, it was like like what are they were referring to
Retro
it as, like the
future.
retro futuristic '60s or something. So, like, I think that also comes into play with the whole dialogue of the thing saying it's clobbering time. Like, it's a thing. Like, the more I think about it, and like, I think the reason I found it slightly boring at times is because like I knew a lot of the stuff that was like coming up front, especially because like not because it was predictable, but because it's like we know these characters. They did a really good job of like showcasing for people who may have not seen it, and then also like reminding people who have seen this story like play and just give some nostalgia to it. So like the space fight for like what they did in that time, I think was decent. I mean, the whole warp speed thing and how bet you anything that they're gonna include that with like however they come into the end, like the 616 universe as far as like traveling. So it was like a
Yeah.
cool little foreshadowing as far as like what's to come. But I mean, it wasn't anything groundbreaking.
Well, especially the transporting to a different dimension. I think that is also a like, dealing with the alternate universes that is in this world. And because I know I'd read the rumor that Franklin was going to be the first mutant as the child of two parents with powers, and now, it fucked with his genetics, and now he has the X gene.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
funny
So
because in the comics that's like a story that kind of happens, but
Yeah.
it ends up getting like debunked because he has his powers are more reality altering, but on
Mhm.
like a cosmic scale. So his story for the mutant gene in the comics for him was like he wanted to be a mutant so bad that he literally made himself into a mutant. Like he changed his genetic coding to make himself a mutant.
to
Well,
give
and that's
himself the
kind of what I'm almost wondering is like, is that what he does to hide himself from his parents, like in utero? Like, is there some
Ooh.
kind of way in
Yeah.
which,
So in this second act, they put a lot of emphasis on how Reed is like obsessed with studying the baby's development and trying to like trying to demonstrate that they are both aware of the fact that like there could be some implications based on the fact that we were genetically altered and then we got pregnant. Um, and there is that cool scene where she makes her belly translucent so he could see the baby. Although I wanted to be like, damn, that bitch has some minute control if she can also like make her organs disappear. Like it's not just a baby in there. Like there's where are all her organs? Like where's all the other stuff that's inside you, sis? How did you make everything? You made everything disappear?
I
well, I
mean,
mean, that's kind of like right there.
Jessica
Yeah.
Alba made a pimple disappear on her forehead on her wedding day, and the Fantastic Four. So, I mean, the control over their powers, I'm sure, is pretty well attuned.
Yeah.
I always think of the scene where they kiss and she goes, "That's my nose, silly." And like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean it was just a wild image to see like the control like just take a look inside, here's your baby. Just absolutely crazy. Um First looks at Galactus, though. What did we think when we saw Galactus? I was confused. Is he connected to some big machine?
Yeah.
Yes, like his
they
drone.
didn't really show his ship well. I kind of was disappointed that they only showed it from like the one perspective from the back, like its thruster, but like they didn't show what the rest of it looked like or how big it was. And I was like, they thought it was a little bit of a cop out. Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean
like,
you
was
get
it too big to, like, was that, like, the point? Like, that it's, like, too large of a scale to, like, actually capture how big it is, which is why they only showed it from, like, a far away perspective. Because, I mean, they showed it, like, passing the planets. And like you can kind of like see in size of the planet that it was passing, like it almost looks like, I mean, the planet looked so tiny next to it. So maybe that was like, I don't know, a creative choice of sorts to like show what kind of scale we're looking at as far as like how big the ship is.
I did think using them kind of standing in front of Galactus talking to him for scale to see how big he was. But again, they also have it like they're quite far from him too. So like the force perspective of like it could just be, the angle up versus down. But then they show him later and like he's much larger than the Statue of Liberty. So um yeah, I mean I don't have much investment in Galactus. I didn't feel like um any particular way. I thought it was kind of cool. I liked the steampunky sort of vibe of it. Like he's all connected to machines and stuff. And other than that, I really didn't have too strong of feelings about it.
Is it supposed to be like a
looks
big
good.
baddie? Like the big bad in like an Avengers movie? I mean, not obviously not the next one because that's Doctor Doom, but
Basically.
So I one thing that I have seen on the internet is the conversation and not jumping to the end or anything, but like how easily one person defeated him, easily with air quotes. Oh yeah, there are spoilers. Obviously, we are going to be spoiling this.
We've already spoiled quite a
Yeah, 100%.
bit.
But like the I lost my train. Oh, the like the so nothing else. Are they not going to be like super OP when they get into the rest of the universe? Like Sue single-handedly took out Galactus. Like
Mm.
she pushed Galactus through a fucking portal. What's Doom going to possibly have on her?
I mean, she did
Well, and I
die.
think
She did,
And she just
but her nose
lived,
Mm.
didn't
and
bleed.
like,
But her nose didn't bleed.
thankfully, she did go to the
well,
Backbending Academy of Wanda
Yeah.
Maximoff.
Sorry, Shauna. Go ahead.
oh, I was just like, but I think that her, like, I think it goes to show just how Galactus assumed he was going to, like, everyone just kind of rolls over for him, or they try to attack him with conventional weapons, not thinking, like, oh, you're just going to move me temporarily. Like, it just so happened to work because it was a really smart plan.
Yeah.
They needed the lever. And,
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, she was the lever, essentially, that kind of, like, made it all work.
Yeah. Which I think also kind of reminds. So in Act 3, it's their return flight. And I don't know if this is the appropriate segmenting of acts, but these are kind of like how I imagined it. But they have the return flight where they do have like a really cool space. I like the return flight back because that's arguably like some of the most action that we have in the
Mm,
movie.
Mhm.
And we get to see the men at least really just like showing off their prowess. Like Ben is an incredible pilot, and Johnny's the pew pew, and Reed is not. Reed is comforting his wife giving birth in space. So let's just touch for 1 second about giving birth in space. Um,
that contraction joke was great.
After this contraction, when he says that,
Mm. Or it was about like the point where like oh gosh, what was the phrasing? It was where he was like, "Oh, like we have this moment. Like I hope your contractions are more than mine." Like and she like had this like really great pregnancy joke.
oh, I don't
And
remember that. I
oh my
remember
gosh, yeah, and I'm blanking on it. It's like
Reed
I'm
says
gonna
something
find
and
it.
asks her to do something, and she like stares at him, and he says, "After this contraction." Um, but you know, I am not a scientist, um, so my immediate thought was, this bitch somehow managed to not give birth entering like G force or whatever the words are, like the amount of pressure on your body and
Well, they probably pressurized the cabin
sure,
like on a
I'm
plane.
sure, but like, you know what I mean? Like that, it feels like
I'm sure it's not pleasant, but
it feels like there were so many times that I'd be like, yeah, 100% this woman would be giving birth right now. But I'm not a scientist. I'm not an OBGYN. I'm not a space birth scientist. Um, but I do know that more than just babies come out when you are giving birth. Where was the
not
shit
in,
and
not in PG-13 movies.
yeah, where was the shit and blood? Like that
Yo,
And
woman,
Franklin
did you
came
want
out
to see
so
that?
green.
I didn't want to see it, but it's like, I think something about birth, it's just like, yeah, it's not that pretty. It's not
They
that
just
like,
traveled to another dimension, all right?
I know, I know, I
It
know,
can
I
be
know. You're
a
right. Maybe
lack
she
of
made
blood.
all her shit and blood invisible. Yeah, and
Maybe.
Franklin comes out clean and big as fuck. That's a big ass baby that they're
Yeah, because
holding.
they're not allowed to have newborns.
I know. I know.
All Hollywood movies just have. I think it's like 4 months. They have to be at least 4 months old.
The big ass babies. I mean, they put a CGI face on the baby, which was also stressful a lot of times.
It
The
wasn't as bad
CGI
as
was
Uh,
just
Renesmee.
stressful in that movie.
yeah, it just was not great. there were some parts where it was tough.
It so bothers me. Like when the thing was talking to Natasha Lyonne and the background was just so clearly CGI. Like I'm like, okay, they are just like, I don't even know they're in the same fucking room. Like they probably
Right.
aren't. And like it's just like, what are we doing here? Like you don't got a fucking building you can stand in front of. Come on.
Right.
Like
Um, so
silly.
after Sue gives birth, they get back from a very precarious flight, and as we mentioned earlier, there is a press conference where choices are made, and they are bad choices. And so they tell the world that they're not going to sacrifice their baby to save all of them, which goes against what all of them thought, which is the Fantastic Four will save us from anything. And so everyone turns on the Fantastic Four and starts talking about how selfish they are until they finally Sue brings the baby out and does not say "fuck them kids" and kick the baby into the crowd. Instead, she just scolds everyone. She gives everyone an "I'm not mad, I'm disappointed" ass speech. Like, you guys are being really fucking uncool about this. So be cool, guys. And everyone's like, sorry, Sue, you're right.
Daddy,
I know,
chill.
Daddy. I was thinking the same thing. Daddy, chill. Mommy, chill. And
What the hell is even that?
um, they devise this plan to temporarily relocate the Earth. Sure, and it requires everyone, because it takes so much power to teleport, that everyone, they implement a curfew. Like, I understand. My willing suspension of disbelief includes no shit blood pregnancy or birth, giant space robots connected to ships, and people turning invisible. I draw the line at the human race collaborating. We are simply not. That was the most unbelievable part of the movie. Like when they talked at the beginning, when they're doing the retrospective, that they basically demilitarized or the entire world, and everyone was like, yeah, cool, we'll give up all our nuclear weapons because we have the Fantastic Four. What?
It's a different
That
dimension,
it's a
Yeah.
different. I want to go to
different
that
timeline.
dimension. I want to go to that dimension. That one's so much better. In that dimension, they say, hey y'all, we need you to start turning off your lights at 8 p.m. so we can teleport our planet to safety. And everyone's like, got it. Sure, cool. What? If we couldn't even get people to put a tiny piece of cloth over their face to stop other people from dying, turn off our electronics, it's not happening. It's not happening. Um, okay, so the final act to bring us there, Galactus spoils their plan. We finally see he destroys one of the energy towers that was going to teleport them. We get the payoff for Johnny's subplot, which is him studying Shalabal's language, and he appeals to her humanity or something.
He guilt trips her.
He guilt trips her, which I thought was actually kind of a cool technique. What did you all think about that moment with the Silver Surfer?
That was nice.
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
And it's also a cool flip on. I didn't realize this until just now, actually. How in the second introduction to the Fantastic Four, how Jessica Alba was the one that appealed to the Silver Surfer, and instead they made it the other sibling that appealed to this Silver Surfer, and they obviously
Yeah,
just did it in a different switch. But I thought it was a cool way to kind of give her a little bit of humanity and help her flip that switch to save them all.
sure. So we have this giant fight after they evacuate all of the city to Mole Man's. What was it called?
Subterranea,
Subterranea. Yes.
which
Um,
because New Jersey wasn't available, so they just had to go down. Like They're like, we'll take the mole people.
New
We'll go
Jersey.
underground underneath this giant person, which again, like, so we're just gonna, he didn't break the surface when he landed and walked around. They were all just hanging out. They were cool, but I saw some meme that was like, just the commitment of people not being willing to go to Jersey or something like that. And that really fucking took me down because no one wants to go to Jersey. So we have this big fight, which ends with them thinking on their feet and deciding that instead of trying to teleport the entire Earth, they are going to teleport Galactus away. And so they use all their powers and shit. And Shalabal, Silver Surfer, is the one that finally pushes him through after we see Vanessa Kirby's debut, her graduation performance from the Wanda Maximoff School of Backbending, wherein she literally tears Galactus's ass up via her powers. So the final fight, what are our thoughts? There were some choices that were made. What are our thoughts on the final fight?
I would have thought he could stretch more.
Yeah.
He was not very stretchy. Like, that's like stretchy, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't very malleable.
Yeah.
His
And like, I just
his
feel like,
started to rip.
yeah, like, and I was like, I feel like he could do more and like, I don't know.
We didn't get a lot of their powers. Like, I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
got a good amount of Johnny just because he needs it to fly. And Sue's main power was serving face. But like, we didn't get a lot of Reed's
Stretchiness. Yeah, we didn't.
stretchiness.
Yeah, it's just
Not in
mainly
like,
him like writing on the chalkboard, extending his arm to like get to the other side of the chalkboard. I mean, they weren't kidding when they said that they made this movie very practically. Like,
yeah,
it showcased, and I think that's why we got like the big, um, like battle in the spaceship, and that took up like a nice chunk of time because that was, I don't know, I guess more practical to help. And they only had to focus on one character to make them CGI, which I'm sure Julia Garner cost them a lot of money, not just because of her salary, but because of how much CGI she needed, as well as the thing. But I mean, it just was all almost too. I was not pleased with the representation of Sue's powers. I will say that. I
you
did think
didn't
it was
like
kind of cool. I liked how they were portrayed in the other films because I mean that's how they like are in the comic books. They're not just like this weird light off of a prism crystal looking like thing. Like it was
Wiggly
just
Woos.
what?
It's not Wiggly Woos.
Yeah, it's not Wiggly Moves. It was just like like my glasses are smudgy. Like that's what it looks like. It was just not cool. I don't know. I just she has so much more control other than just like a fade of light or a different shade of light. I mean, she can make things out of it. It's all very formable. I mean, she can make like big what are those called with like the spikes, the balls with the spikes? I can't think of what they're called.
Mace.
Yeah, I mean, she can make giant versions of those. I mean, she can make anything out of these constructs. So it just, I was not pleased with it. I was pleased with her performance. I will say that she got very primal and like very like mama bear. Didn't
Yeah,
pass out. Didn't have a nosebleed. She did die, but
she did.
it was all great performance. Did not like the execution.
Yeah. Shauna, what were
But
your
like,
thoughts on that final fight?
Sue is dying, and Reed is just run with his normal people legs. Like, come on. Like, really, this doesn't require a use of your powers to like stretch you through. Like, no,
Right.
you're just like gonna use like like, come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
silly.
Rye.
Yeah, this is just maybe a showing of how I found this movie to be boring. I don't remember a lot of it. Um, I just it didn't connect, you know.
Yeah.
With that last scene, like it wasn't anything new. It's not the first time we've seen a superhero get revived. Um, but
Yeah. I think my favorite part of it was like what it was saying about Sue as like a person, but also like um I couldn't help but think about like the very real phenomenon that like a mother could lift a fucking car off of her child if she heard the baby crying, and they were intentional with making sure that there were sounds of Franklin crying. And so to me, I think that was my favorite part, was just like, I want to argue with a fucking incel about this and like hear him try to like n- suggest that Sue is OP. Like, she is perhaps OP, but the additional strength of uh hearing her child cry, I don't know, there was something about it that just was like that. I thought that that was really cool. I thought it was a good um touch. It felt like one of the ways that they made the stakes a little bit higher, is like, this
Mhm.
is her child. Like, yeah, she's gonna fucking pull out all the stops. I also really liked when Johnny tries to sacrifice himself and says like, tell Franklin I love him or something. I don't remember what he's doing to sacrifice himself.
He was going to push
He's
himself
going to
into the
try and
portal.
push Galactus into, because like
Yes.
there needed to be one something, but that's where Silver Surfer comes back in, and she sacrificed herself because
Yes.
it makes more sense.
Yep. I thought I liked that. Um any other thoughts on that final scene before we jump to the post credit?
That baby on Sue's chest resurrecting her was probably the hardest watch.
You think
Because it
so?
was like, oh, 100%. Like the thing, Ben holding Franklin and then having that CGI background was one thing. It was a whole other thing to watch Jessica Kirby on the ground with a CGI baby on top of her, and then Pedro Pascal trying to like hold, like hover over the baby that's clearly not there. It was just a very awkward scene to watch. And then like the placement of like the actor, I don't know. It just was, there was something about it that was just very almost like secondhand embarrassment or uncomfortable to watch. I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Did that happen for Shauna? You've seen it twice. I feel like seeing it. I can't imagine. I gotta imagine it's different as like an actual mom watching that. Like,
It's
you
true. Like I think there was a different emotional note for me there. Like,
I
like when I watched, because like I showed it to my kid when I was like I made sure to like lean over and give him like the spoiler alert. I'm like, everyone's gonna be okay, because
yeah,
like I didn't want him to have to like go through that, because like that,
it's scary
like yeah, it's scary. And I was like, parent dying is a lot.
or
I was like, don't
unexpected.
worry about
Maybe
that.
like that's
Yeah, like
especially
I didn't want
consider.
him to actually like, yeah, like, because like we all know she's not dying, because like
Yeah,
we're grown
Right.
ups, like.
there was one moment that I was like, oh fuck, like, is this it, again, we are getting them in the multiverse. Like, is the reason that we saw the Fantastic Four plane going through the MCU at the end of Thunderbolts, was that for one second I was like, oh, maybe that's Reed going like Doctor Strange, trying to find another reality where his wife is still alive, or Wanda trying to find another reality where her kids are still alive. Like,
Right.
um, it would fit a certain pattern of characters, but um, yeah, I thought it was. I thought the emotion of it was really beautiful. I was really glad that, obviously he brought her back to life. I don't think I picked up on the same sort of cringe notes, but it was when Sean was like, yeah, he didn't really fucking stretch to his dying wife, like that did kind of fuck up the context a little bit. Like, there were just some choices that it's like that were like, did no one pause and say, does anything here not make sense? Is there a reason that we should maybe, use the extra budget? Like, we have some discretionary funds. Let's put it into making Reed stretch over to his dying wife. Maybe that'll be what we do. So post credit scene, Sue is reading to Franklin. He is noticeably older. Her hair is noticeably longer, so we know that it's a little bit further into the future.
They say like
Uh,
5 years, I
think
think.
they say 5 years.
okay, right. They say 5 years. Um, and Sue goes to get something for her son in the kitchen and comes back and hears him talking or hears talking, and she peeks around the corner and it is a green hood, assumedly of one Victor Von Doom or Doctor Doom in general.
And assumingly it's Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ, yeah.
That is though.
Because I think
I
the
think
fact that because I think Franklin was holding the mask, either Franklin or Doom.
yeah.
So like
Right.
showing him his face
Mhm.
was like a part of it.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see if this is actually like if Robert Downey Jr. is in this universe because Latveria was absent when they were trying to get the world together. So like we don't know if this is like if Doom even exists in this world. I'm sure he does, but it'll be interesting to see if this is like another variant of Doom and it's not Robert Downey Jr. However, I don't know if it was Pedro or Vanessa Kirby. They did confirm it in an interview that Robert Downey Jr. was on set and that was him under the hood.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely was kind of curious. Like, it feels like one of those swap out moments where it's like, it's Robert Downey Jr. No, it's not. It's someone else. Well, you know, it's not going to be Julian McMahon. R.I.P. R.I. fucking P. But yeah, I don't know. I am very curious because to your point, like he's showing his face to them. We didn't get any information about the relationship between Victor and Reed, which is traditionally, you know, an important dynamic. But one would assume that if it follows that same thing, that he would recognize Victor because Victor was a part of their lives before all the chaos. So maybe he knows that face from pictures or something. I'm super curious. Any other thoughts, theories about the post credit?
Is he going to be scarred?
What?
Is he scarred?
Ooh.
Because that's part of why he wears the mask, is that from the explosion and the science, or is it alternatively he's so vain that he has like a scar on his cheek that's like a scratch, and then he feels he must hide. Both theories are good, but I wonder which one it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we know that this is going to. Okay, I kept thinking, is this leading right into Doomsday?
It's supposed to, but
okay.
So like,
did they just get pushed back?
Yes, they did just push it back. I think another couple months, and they pushed Secret Wars into the like beginning of the following year.
They pushed it from like December.
Yeah, I think they're adding in another film somewhere. It might be Doctor Strange, because I know that that was in production and that was supposed to play a big part. Because I think allegedly, I think people think they're running with the story that happened in the comic books with the Secret Wars, where Doctor Strange does side with Doctor Doom to like save at least like merge the universes, and that's how we get Battle World and all that. Like he's a part of that plan and helps Doctor Doom accomplish all that stuff.
Right.
It did make I will say that it made the post credit scene in this made the post credit scene in Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers, confusing. But then I read an interview by the director of the Fantastic Four who said that he did not know of the post credit scene in New Avengers, and it's like, please, if WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness taught you anything, is that you need to have writers and directors be cohesively talking when it comes to like the interconnectedness of the MCU, because that's what this whole phase has been lacking, is that there is no connectivity, or if there is, it's super choppy. It makes zero sense. Like even Elizabeth Olsen said that like when she read Multiverse of Madness, she was like, have you seen WandaVision? Like this is a hard pivot. So like that did kind of piss me off after learning that he didn't know about that post credit scene. So I'm just like, well, how do they end up there? Like, what is the connection? Like, where do we learn this? Like, what movie could there possibly be coming up here soon that would show them going into that universe? Like, we don't know what this big
other than the next one, like
right. But like the next film, I just unless it shows a big multiversal collapse of universes and it actually affects the 616 in a big way. I'm just like, I'm very curious as to how they're going to explain that post credit scene.
I almost kind of want to bring it back to Marvel Rivals, because I wonder if that plot, which stars Doctor Doom fucking around with the multiverse and having everything combined into one, is maybe that's a note they're going to take for it.
Sure. Well, I mean, Doctor Strange does sort of end with like incursions are happening, everything's falling apart. We got to go try to fix this. So it would make sense if a Doctor Strange movie came out between this and Doomsday, because Doomsday doesn't. Doomsday just has to set up Secret Wars. So Doomsday will be its own, thing. I'm imagining it'll be sort of like Infinity War, like leading up to this massive thing that starts the incursion that creates Battle World for Secret Wars. But yeah, I'm ready to find out, as always, Marvel. Like you got me. I'm hooked. I'm curious. I can't wait to find out more. Hopefully we do get Wonder Man, despite them giving us no information. Just kind of like they were like, hey, by the way, Eyes of Wakanda comes out in a couple days. Watch that.
All 4 episodes.
All 4 episodes. Which we very well could be doing in Oops All Ryan's episode for Eyes of Wakanda. But stay tuned. But closing out, textbook typical questions for the end of Real Hot Nerd Shit. The first one being the if you could have a piece of memorabilia from this movie, what would it be? What would you take?
I heard the baby's a hot commodity.
Yeah, that's very funny. Uxmal.
I want the robot.
Herbie.
Yeah,
I would like
him.
to try the spaghetti sauce that Herbie and the Thing made. A little bit of kick with a little extra garlic.
Did
Sounded
they get
good.
that kick?
Yeah. Well,
And a bowl of the cereal that Johnny was eating, like
sure,
consistently.
Sure. I would say I want. I don't know. Nothing is jumping out at me except for like Sue's fucking face. Like I want Vanessa Kirby's mug. Can that be? I want Vanessa Kirby on like a picture just going with rainbow wiggly woos around her. So who is the hottest character in Fantastic Four First Steps? Ryan, who's the hottest character?
I mean, it's supposed to be Johnny, but I mean, Pedro Pascal is playing Reed, so it's him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone else.
Go ahead, Uxmal.
I mean, yeah, there's no arguing with that. It's always Pedro. I'm so sorry to all the other men. However, I'm not sorry that it's Pedro.
Mm-hmm. Shauna.
Gosh, it's between Vanessa Kirby and Silver Surfer. Like they
Ooh.
gave her like silver areolas. Like I was like, all right, like you're literally naked here.
Memorabilia you want is Shalabal's silver areolas.
Yeah, like little like nipple cover. I think a
Yeah.
pasty. That's yeah.
Yeah, I obviously think the one I'm most sexually attracted to is Pedro Pascal. But Vanessa Kirby, I'm sorry, her hair, her mug, the costume, her powers, like I'm in it for Sue. I think I've always low-key loved Sue Storm just as a character, just because I always like the girls, but she's just truly a stunning, stunning human being. Like, great work. Great work.
It is why I'm
Clapped her in
annoyed I
the
can't
crown.
find my Invisible Woman action figure because I had her somewhere else, not with the rest of them that I just had together because I didn't care. She was
Yeah.
somewhere, but I don't know where that somewhere is.
She's
Have you
safe
checked the
wherever.
negative zone?
No.
Is she invisible?
Aye, that was the joke we were making.
Uh-huh. All right, any final thoughts about things coming up? Anything we're excited for? Any nerd shit we're eager for?
I mean, other
Stream.
than Eyes of Wakanda and then hopefully getting Wonder Man, that's really all I can think of that's coming up right now, up until we get more project figuring out what they're fitting into the schedule here before Doomsday.
Sure. Yeah, I can't think of any other nerd stuff. Percy Jackson comes out in December, but that's
Wednesday comes out.
Season 2 of
season
Wednesday is
2,
coming
just
out
playing.
First
just fine.
Nintendo Direct this morning.
And anything?
Not really.
Okay. He said disappointingly. Not
Nothing
really.
that you guys would. Nothing that I don't think you guys would be excited about.
All right. Well, be sure to tune in to our next episode. Thanks for joining us, Uxie and Snacks. And
Thanks.
we will see you all next time.
Hmm.